Welcome back to the weekly series, the 50 State Cold Case Spotlight. Today we are in Georgia for day 3, and I will be spotlighting the case of Jennifer Stone. Jennifer, 22, grew up in an upper middle class family in the Willow Springs subdivision of Roswell. She was the youngest of 5 daughters. Jennifer's college friends describe her as smart, talented, and funny. Jennifer formally attended the Atlanta Lovett School and graduated with a degree in journalism at the end spring quarter of 1992. Jennifer was known to be a talented photographer and copywriter by her teacher. She had just recently received a summer internship at an Atlanta advertising agency. In April of 1992, Jennifer was attending the University of Georgia in Athens, majoring in advertising and working on a project with fellow students. Jennifer lived off campus on Hull Street in the downtown business district of Athens and rented a 3-bedroom apartment where she lived by herself and had been there about 8 months. On April 23rd, Jennifer had missed 2 meetings, which was very out of character for her. She had a meeting at noon with fellow students that she was working on a project with that she didn't show up for, and a second meeting at 6 p.m. which she failed to show up for. That's when a few students from that meeting decided to head over to Jennifer's house to check on her to make sure that she was okay. When they arrived to Jennifer's apartment around 7 p.m., they noticed that the side door was open, and when they peeked inside, they found Jennifer's body on the floor. They immediately left the apartment and headed to the nearest phone to call police. Investigators were able to determine that a friend of Jennifer's last spoke to her around midnight on the 23rd. An autopsy would determine that Jennifer had been sexually assaulted and her cause of death was strangulation. The autopsy also revealed that Jennifer didn't suffer any other injuries outside of the strangulation. Investigators did tell reporters at the time that there was no signs of forced entry or an indication of a struggle. Investigators would eventually rule out over 70 friends and acquaintances of Jennifer's to include any of her known boyfriends. On April 26, 1992, investigators told the Atlanta Journal that they didn't know if Jennifer knew her killer, but they wanted the residents of the college town to be cautious. Chief Camp said at the time, quote, "We don't want to give anybody the impression that we have a random killer on our hands. We are advising people to take normal precautions. Don't let anybody in you don't know and keep your doors locked," end quote. Throughout the years, there's only been one theory that investigators shared publicly with the press. Investigators believe that at some point Jennifer left her home to get some fresh air and returned home in the early hours of April 23rd to a burglar who had entered through an unlocked door. Investigators believe that they struggled in the kitchen, and then the burglar forced Jennifer into the bedroom where he assaulted and strangled her. 2 of Jennifer's cameras were taken from the residence, and investigators were able to track those down, and they were exchanged for drugs, but the trail goes cold from there. This is the only theory I've seen reported, but it definitely goes against the initial reporting in 1992 when investigators told reporters that they didn't see any sign of struggle, but maybe they just weren't sharing as much information in the early days. Investigators did state that Jennifer's case went cold pretty quickly, but they follow up promptly on any new development and leads, and they are continuously assessing advancements in technology and investigative resources that could benefit Jennifer's case. If you have any information in Jennifer's case, you are asked to contact the ACCPD at 706-613-3330 or the GBI Region 11 Athens office at 706-552-2309. Please continue to share Jennifer's face and her case in hopes that we can help generate some new leads. Thank you so much for taking the time to get to know Jennifer today, and don't forget when you see those missing and murdered posts on social media to hit like and share, because every time we share a face, we get closer to solving a case. And I hope to see you all back here tomorrow for Georgia Day 4.